Okay. Howdy, folks. As Jeff stated, it has been a week, and it has also been a week for the Jays and a week for the world, and also a week for I just had to reboot this and try this again because our first little catch didn't catch.
It's been it's been a week of stuff, man. Jays wise, world wise, things are just cray. Or sorry, as my kids say, cray.
Cray in
still sounds stupid.
Cray
even coming out of my 40-year-old mouth.
Oh yeah,
I don't like the cray. It's not about the cray.
No.
So we go into first part of the week. Like we're gonna try and do a weekly rundown for you guys at the beginning and go into it. So Monday, well, we should say Sunday probably because we had to. Okay, Sunday was a travesty of a game in Seattle.
Oh yeah,
it was a horrible game. We didn't talk about last week, right?
Yeah,
we end on Saturday, so we got to talk about that game.
Let's just pretend the week before it didn't exist.
That was the nail in the coffin, unfortunately, for Montoyo. Because how do you get away from that, man? That was just a horrible game. Like they were doing so well, and then no, they weren't. It was just bad, and it just showed the glaring weaknesses we have on our team. Like I don't blame Montoyo for the weaknesses we have because he doesn't have the players we need to do the things he needs them to do.
Yeah, but he also doesn't, not hit the strike zone as a starting pitcher either, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like he's like, it all comes down to the players got to play, right? Yeah. The players got to do their thing. Now, if they were just kind of putting on a show because they wanted him gone. Because there are rumors saying that he was, they needed a new voice, they were saying. There's been people, Bo basically came right out and said it, so maybe they did. Maybe Montoyo was too soft. Maybe this is the time where you get away from the build-up manager to the, the real manager.
Well,
anyway, Sunday was just a boner of a game.
Yeah.
Boner of a game.
And then Monday happened, and Monday, we beat the Phillies, and that was the first.
No. Monday was the off day. We went to Julia Budzinski's funeral.
Sorry, Tuesday.
Right.
Tuesday.
And I do have to make an apology because I did misname her last week. I thought I knew her name. I was wrong. I thought I called her Lindsay. So I apologize to the Budzinski family. I really do apologize because it was so new at that point. So anyway, our condolences for Julia and to the Jays family because that's just. And the only reason Montoyo didn't get fired on Monday was the reason.
Because of that.
Like, there's no way they were going to fire him until after that was done.
Yeah.
No way. Although I thought they would have done it before the game on Tuesday that they won.
Which is odd. Like there was that brief little, okay, you know what, everything might be all right in J-land, and then you get that little shakeup. Like the last time I remember a big managerial firing for the Jays in midseason, and then it had a big turnaround was obviously Cito Gaston, because that was granted that was 33 years ago, because we have had some other ones which didn't really affect much, but who knows?
Well, you talking when Cito got fired or when Cito got hired?
No, when Cito got hired, it was Jimmy Williams got let go.
Because they were crapping the bed when he got let go, and Cito brought them around and it turned the whole season around. Because they were 12-24, and they ended up winning. But yeah, I mean, I would have given him to the All-Star break. That's the only thing. I would have given him the homestand, to see what he could do. That's to see what would happen. But then I don't know whether they thought it was like this should be a better launching pad if they could churn with Schneider and get way better. I think a lot of teams do. Like Didn't the Angels go on a crazy run when Madden first got fired?
Well,
and then they just tanked.
And then they just tanked. Well, that's the thing. This is the third midseason managerial change, and the other two have gone in opposite directions. It was Phillies.
Oh no, that's right. Because it was Philly. Philly when they changed, then took in Rob Thompson, the Canadian.
Philly's gone. What is it? Philly's gone 21-14 since changing the managers. And when Madden got fired, the Angels have gone 12-21. So it's literally
Anybody
the opposite.
Madden was the problem is stupid.
Yeah,
Madden was not the problem. The problem is that Perry Manazian doesn't know how to build a team.
Yeah, I mean
they've got
three awesome players, like two generational talents. Two generational talents in Shohei and Trout, and then you've got a couple of other guys.
But he's always hurt.
Yeah,
I mean they had pieces. They can hit. There's no doubt the Angels, even now, the Angels can really hit. Mm-hmm. But it's not like they just can't pitch.
No,
Shohei can pitch. Mm-hmm. Noah Syndergaard's been all right. Mm-hmm. But there's rumors now that he might be up for trade. So I know Blue Jays maybe
come back.
But the other guys have been up and down.
Yeah,
and their bullpen's been crap.
Yeah.
So what do you expect to happen? But it's the thing with them. It's always been pitching, always. Yeah. But, I mean, they signed Dylan Bundy. He crapped the bed. They've signed guys, but they all seem to crap the bed pitching in Anaheim. I don't know what it is.
That's the thing is Anaheim is a massive, massive ballpark, right? So you just need to have someone that can actually just pop the ball up, and then you're probably fine. Like it's not like you need like a massive ace. They got one in Shohei, but for some reason I personally don't think that it's pitching. I think that it's possibly their fielding because
the fielding does suck.
Yeah, because they can hit.
Trout should be a corner outfielder by now. He's at that age.
Yeah.
But Jared Walsh ain't bad at first. They're good thing they released Justin Upton because he was a travesty of the outfield.
I think that's the last of the Uptons. Isn't it the last of the Uptons?
We had him. He was BJ when he was here.
We had BJ,
a little bit. Mm-hmm. Okay, so anyways, we go to Wednesday. They thumped the Phillies, and they thumped Zach Wheeler, which was I think that was that one game, wasn't it? It was nice.
Yeah.
So then the Royals come in 10 players down because of the COVID restrictions. They've got a billion guys coming up from AA and AAA who are making their major league debuts. Yeah. And we crapped the bed and lost 3-1.
One got their first major league hit as a home run as well.
Yep. Yeah. Gosman got to pitch, and he went to the sixth. That means I guess his ankle is finally good. So let's answer the question to this other person on one of my groups asking, are they changing the semblance of the rotation? Why isn't Gosman about that? Pay attention. I don't know where these people don't pay attention. Just pay attention. Read stuff. Well, anyway, so that was interesting. And then they come back the next day and had a nice little thumping on Kansas City.
Yeah.
So that was good. Oh, the other thing about the Tuesday start, I forgot to mention, Barrios. It was his third pretty good start in a row.
Yeah.
Right? Manoah pitched again on the Friday game. Again, what can you say? 7-8 innings, 2 runs. It's just he's becoming automatic.
Yeah.
And I hate using that word for a pitcher, especially on his sophomore. But you know what? He's not fazed by anything.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know what it is about this kid. He may end up going, the way he's starting his career, if he can keep this up, he's the greatest pitcher this team has ever produced.
Yeah.
And that's saying a lot. But because of the two gods of Stephen Halliday. But they never did this.
No.
They never did this.
No, it took Halliday. It took Halliday a couple of stints up and down before he got his stuff together.
A couple of years to really, Steve was a couple of years to really lock in because he was converting from the outfield.
Yeah.
So he's about as comparable as you can get. I'm going to disappear for 1 second.
And he's back. Midseason coffee or
no? Water with that spray stuff in it, make it taste like juice.
Vodka. We're good. Yeah.
Gin.
No. Gin. Yeah. Or it's like when you have that alkali water with a little bit of lemon in it, which completely defeats the purpose of having the alkali. It's one of those Gwyneth Paltrow tricks. Why don't you try a little alkaline water with some lemon or some lime in it? Then you've completely negated the whole purpose of the alkaline water. There we go.
Yeah. The fact we have to buy water in the first place is dumb.
Yeah.
The fact that water is also is a commodity that's on a stock exchange now is really dumb.
Well, that's the owner of Nestle, right? The president of Nestle. He said water shouldn't be a right. You know? Yeah. That's why a lot of people don't like Nestle.
A Nestle guy.
For those of you in the audio podcast, Jeffrey just made
I did something bad with one of my hands.
Pick your finger.
In front of the camera with a finger.
Yeah.
Then we come to Saturday, and it was a weird game.
Went to some extra innings. Yeah.
We did go to 10, but the weird thing was that Kansas City would score, and then we would score. And then Kansas City would score. And it was like that. They did it 3 different times where they scored and we came back like that inning and kept backing it up.
Yeah.
But they weren't getting big hits. They weren't getting anything really like it wasn't like they were hitting with runners in scoring position, but they weren't getting a lot of hits. Like they weren't really getting on base very much as you would have expected against
Kansas City. Yeah.
Yeah. But Lynch is a decent pitcher. Like he's been up there for a bit. So I mean he's
not even against Kansas City, against Omaha.
Yeah.
Against Omaha.
I don't know what's their AA team because they had a lot of AA guys there too. Yeah. So, but they finally were able to string together against Joel Payamps, who we all remember and know and love in Blue Jay land. He gave up 4 straight hits in the 10th inning to win it. We had some good clutch hits. We were like 4 for 6 going into the 10th in clutch hits. So I mean, our ISP is getting higher. We mentioned that in previous broadcasts. So. You know, it's something to keep an eye on, but it's getting there.
And we didn't strand 47 base runners.
No. But Romano did blow the lead today.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, sorry, he did not blow the lead. He blew the tie. In the 9th inning to go up 5-3. Mm-hmm. And, I'll get this wrong because it was so recent. He came on in the 10th inning. It was the 10th inning. He gave up the 2-run home run. Of course, the guys, first major league home run.
So that's 2.
I think it was. I think that was what it was.
Yeah.
But he right off the foul pole and down the right field line. But really, like it would have landed in the 3rd deck if that sucker landed. He got killed. So he's a thing to keep an eye on because I'm noticing Romano. I don't know if it's because we haven't been able to use him as much, but he's not as automatic as I.
In the last,
I think it cost him an all-star spot.
In the last 2 weeks, he hasn't really been in a position to come in. You know, like we've actually been that bad that we haven't had a chance to get a save. Like it's terrible. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Gosh darn it.
We're approaching a commercial. If you want, we can bust in a commercial and we'll come back into that as well.
Well, we got a commercial about another minute or so.
Yeah.
So we can tell what's going on the rest of it. So we are going to talk more about the Montoyo Schneider thing.
Mm-hmm.
I want to give you guys a brief Schneider bio because we should. He's now our manager. You should get to know who this guy is. And a little shout out to Casey Candell as well, who's now been elevated to bench coach, who played with Craig Biggio. So Kevin apparently knows this guy since he was a wee little kid. Which I think is kind of interesting. The players love him too. Kevin Biggio said that he is the most knowledgeable baseball man he's ever been around.
Oh, cool. Okay, that is.
So it could be very interesting. I would start keeping an eye on at this point if the hitting keeps being inconsistent as it's been.
Mm-hmm.
I would watch out for a change in hitting coach, possibly. Possibly. Because there's a lot of guys underperforming. They still are. You're supposed to be great players. And until they play great, we ain't playing in the playoffs.
Well,
there's a few of them, you know.
That's the thing now. Now that the ownership is on the Jays, like the actual players to perform to their potential because, you know, they were under Montoyo for 4 years. Now it's a new manager. So now it's like, okay, it's put up or shut up right now. So that's literally the thing. All right, so what are you going to do?
All right, so take the commercial, but we'll talk about Atkins about that too.
We're doing the Canadian way. Or we're doing a Canadian way. All right,
doing the Canadian way. Eh?
I'm doing the Canadian way. All right. Hey kids. Now, are you tired of fast fashion? Are you tired of styles that come and go, and when you get rid of them, you can just pile up and leave a big pile of garbage? You can't do anything with it. Well, how about going to a company that'll actually take care of the clothes that they make and also help you look good as well? So we're talking about the Canadian Way. It's a Canadian company using ethical fabrics, ethical production line, and also making you look cool as well. It's not going to be like, some polyester or something. It's going to be using recycled fabrics, organic fabrics, and you're going to look good in it. So, why don't you be Canadian, take care of the earth, and do something with the Canadian way? Oh, come on. It's not going off. Ah.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh,
there
no.
we go. Oh, no.
Live.
There we go. There we go. There's the problems. There's the problems with live TV.
Podcasting. Yeah. Or live to tape or whatever. I don't even know what you call it now.
We are live, and then it airs later. So it's live. It's live to bank. That's what it is.
We always call it. When I've been back in broadcasting school, when I went to radio and television arts, which sounds like the most archaic degree to have now, we used to call it live to tape. Like, there is no TV. Doesn't really. It kind of exists now, still, but not really. And it won't be for much longer than in the traditional format. And radio, okay. I do have to say this because I'm hoping somebody in the Blue Jays or Sportsnet Rogers community can explain this to me. I have a Sportsnet Now subscription.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Because sometimes I cannot watch it on the televisions around here because there are other people in the house. Right? So I wanted to listen to the radio, the audio version, and listen to Ben Wagner. It won't let me. It says I'm not allowed to.
Why?
And I've used other apps that have radio apps where you can listen to locally the Fan 590,
mm-hmm.
but when the game's on, they play CBS Sportsline.
That's odd.
They don't play the live game. I want to know what the difference between airing it on radio is and airing it through an internet app, or even through your own app, which you won't let me do. It's been pissing me off for a while now. I have never heard Ben Wagner.
Huh.
Ever. Because I don't drive a car. Like, I can drive, I'm not allowed to drive because, I fall asleep and crash it. So I don't have a radio beside my bed or anything anywhere. So how am I supposed to listen to Ben Wagner on your network? You have an option to listen or watch. I can watch whatever the hell I want. I can't listen to anything. So, please explain it. And if it means I have to pay more to listen to an audio broadcast, you guys are just thieves.
Yeah. So here's the kicker, though, right? Like, speaking of paying more and subscriptions, off topic, but I don't know if you heard that BMW is thinking of doing subscriptions for specific digital services in their cars. One of them is seat warmers. You got to pay a subscription to have a seat warmer. All right. There's a lot of words I can say about that. The stuff's already in the car. Come on, guys. That's just a dick move. That's just a dick move.
You know what they should start doing, because there's such a rash of like thefts of Lexuses, and my stepfather, his Lexus stolen out of his driveway last week.
Yeah.
One of 600 cars. You know what they should do with new cars? Don't make them keyless.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All right. Okay. We diversed for a second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
we diversed for a second. Okay. So back to the whole Montoyo thing. We'll talk about Schneider actually.
Well, first of all, do you think Montoyo should have been fired?
No. I mean, that's the thing, is I don't think he is the problem. There's other glaring problems. Like, our problem is our starting pitching. That is the big thing. Like, we all know we can hit. We're actually pretty great in the field. We just like our starters couldn't go more than 4 innings without giving up a ball game. So that's a big problem. Now,
well, not all
a lot of people,
starters.
yeah, a lot of people say, well, we're missing. One's out for a year and a half. One was a horrible trade that we picked up. One's been good, and one's been a little bit injured, right? So then we're left with, a mismatch of whatever's happening. But then that was one of the things that people said is that, according to some of your pissy Jays fans, they said that Montoyo managed, the starters like a Bush League manager. It's like, I don't know. Like, I think he gave them a little more leeway than they should have had. But that's a different style of management. That's a different.
For me, it's like, okay. Here's the issue. Like, I don't agree with firing Montoyo either.
No,
but I've thought long and hard about the pitching usage issue, because there's a lot of fans who are in on this. So I've been thinking about it, and you know what? They're kind of right. And I only want to say because there's been so many times you've seen one of our starters in the 7th inning throw, like, he's up to 80 pitches.
Yeah.
And he's doing fine.
And they pull him out.
This whole thing of not going through the lineup a 3rd time, 4th time, whatever, is just that's just too much analytics. It doesn't take into account the feel that the pitcher has at the moment of the game. Like, remember that game where Manoah wanted so badly to go into the 9th inning, and Montoyo's like, nope. I know you've only thrown like 87 pitches, but no.
But also remember the couple of double headers that we've had, and we throw out like essentially me on the mound in the first game because you're saving all the starters for game 2, and then game 2 we've got guys in there that now have an inflated ERA of like 10.
Well, that was because Gosman got hit. That doubleheader thing, that whole thing was just a trickle down effect of that.
Yeah.
Right. So we had to use Casey. We had to use Casey Lawrence. We didn't want to use him. He was supposed to be the backup to Thomas Hatch, who laid a big fat egg.
Yeah.
Our problem is our good pitching's in the lower minors.
Yeah.
And it is. We have actually, our top 10 prospects now are in the lower.
That's
A ball or lower.
That's one of the things that the prospects game coming up, Tiedemann and Zulueta. So it's like single A and New Hampshire Fisher Cats. Was it Yoss versus Zulueta and Ricky Tiedemann? Yeah, and Ricky Tiedemann's now. Tiedemann's actually going to be
next year.
No, Tiedemann's actually going to be in the Futures game this year.
Oh, I know. What I'm saying is, but Tiedemann's going to be in Toronto in 2023.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The way this kid's going.
He's number 35 on baseball's prospect list. Yeah. According
to one scout from an article I was reading, the scout says that he may be the best left-handed prospect in baseball.
Well,
yeah.
They put him at 35, so I'm still cool with that.
If you look up Tiedemann's numbers, okay, right? Let's see. His strikeouts per 9 innings is ridiculous. Like, I think it's something like 13 or 14.
And he's got a 2.13 ERA, which that's awesome.
And already up to high A in Vancouver.
Yeah.
So hold on at once.
We got a sneeze coming.
Yeah, too bad there wasn't a better way to turn down the microphone. Sorry if that hurt anybody's ears. That was terrible.
I got to remember to do.
You really need a studio with one of those mute mics.
Well, I got to also got to get a graphic that has the cartoon face with the little X's over the eyes in case you fall asleep in the next thing. I'll just bloop. It'll be
Oh yeah, for those who don't understand,
we're experiencing technical difficulties.
I'm a narcoleptic. I'm actually a cataplectic, but a cataplectic is kind of like a narcoleptic. It's kind of the same thing. Just mine is worse. So. It could happen at any time. I'm not ashamed of it. It is what it is. It's good podcasty television. Is this computery stuff? I don't know. It's entertaining anyways. Okay. So anyway, we were talking about Schneider. Now, Schneider's been with the team since 2008 when he retired as a player. He came in as a catching instructor. Mm-hmm. Then he became manager at rookie level Blue Jays. And then he was promoted to Vancouver Canadians in December of 2010 and became the youngest manager in team history at 30 years old. Woo-hoo. He was managing a minor league ball team at 30 years old. In 2011, he had to take a leave of absence, and then they won the league championship in 2011. Schneider returned to the Gulf Coast League in 2013, went back to managing Vancouver in 2014 and 15. 16, he was in Lansing, which I believe no longer exists anymore for us.
No more lug nuts.
2017, he won.
They had cool hats too.
They did have cool hats, and it was close to here. We could have gone and seen a game.
Yeah.
Florida State League championship for the Dunedin Blue Jays in 2017, the first they ever won in the 33-year history of the team. And in 2018, he was promoted to manager of New Hampshire and led them to a championship and named manager of the year. And then they promoted them to the major league staff for the 2019 season to work with the catchers.
Yeah.
And I forgot about this. He was the guy who was pitching to Vladdy during the 2019 home run derby.
Oh, cool.
When Vladdy went bonkers.
Yeah.
So he can win, and he's won with these same players. I think there's 8 guys on the team right now who have played with him in the minors.
So the continuity is there. That's one aspect that's actually good. But he doesn't have the direct to Spanish that Montoyo did when a few of our guys, it's not their first language, right? So you will have to go through a translator.
There's so many coaches on this team that speak Spanish. I don't think it even matters. And honestly, I'll bet he does. I wouldn't be surprised if he has some Spanish. And if you're going to be playing and coaching in baseball, I think learning at least intermediate Spanish is probably a necessity at this point.
I mean, I know there are
not a complete necessity, but I mean, that's where all their players are coming from.
I know there are a few Schneiders in Argentina, possibly from 1946 onwards.
Argentina and
Brazil and Peru. So maybe
South America is littered with German towns. For those of you who don't know, it did happen just after 1946. So do the math.
Yeah.
I'm not going to glorify that stuff, but let's say one of the German towns has 300,000 Germans in it.
Yeah, and it's in Argentina. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. That's a.
So I think he's a baseball guy. Okay, so I can deal with that. He's a baseball lifer.
Yeah. That's the thing. Is like he's seen his calling more as an instructor and as a manager, and it's not gave up as a player, but I mean realized his actual calling in the world of baseball, as opposed to still trying to make a go of it at 30, right? So
here's the thing. So everybody was complaining. A lot of these keyboard warriors on my groups, they said Montoyo had no experience. He's an inexperienced manager. Oh my God. I'm like, he did the exact same thing as Schneider's done, but for a longer period of time.
Yeah.
He is apparently the winningest manager in Durham Bulls history. The Durham Bulls. That is one of those minor league teams that has been around almost as long as baseball has been around.
Durham and the Toledo Mud Hens, pretty much.
Yeah.
And what is it? And the Coney Island Cyclones. Like the Yankees farm club, yeah.
So here's the thing: they didn't like Montoyo because they thought he was soft, but Schneider's not a hard ass.
No,
he's not. So what I don't understand is all these people, and they're on the anti-Montoyos or the Montoyas, as they always call them, because people don't know how to be respectful for other people's names. They just think this is the greatest thing in the world, that Montoyo's finally gone. He's the worst man, like the worst manager we've ever had. People were calling for Gibbons to come back. People were calling for Gaston to come back, and I'm like, dude's in his 80s.
Okay, so here's
we'll get to that PC Jays fan section later.
Yeah, here's a quick little rundown of some awesome records for Jays managers. Yeah, Cito's got a great record because Cito's actually managed three stints, and there was only one little sort of losing span that he had, and that was by 6 games. But the other spans he was miles ahead. There's actually like a random stat. We've actually got a lot of guys whose records are even. So listen to this. This is actually pretty crazy. When Carlos Tosca came in, Carlos Tosca's record was 191 and 191. Gibbons in his first stint was 305 and 305, which is kind of odd. Charlie Montoyo, do you know what Charlie Montoyo's record is? 236 and 236. Like that's kind of crazy.
Bizarre.
Yeah,
that is really weird.
Yeah, I mean Roy Hart
has a winning record here.
Yeah, Roy Hartsfield.
Roy Hartsfield.
Because we were an expansion franchise, so that's
exactly.
Yeah,
I feel bad for Roy Hartsfield for that reason alone.
Yeah,
like being an expansion team now is way different than being an expansion team in 1977. I'll tell you.
Oh yeah, and that was
like how many years after Florida was?
Okay, well it was
Marlins.
Roy Hartsfield was 116 and 318, and then Bobby Maddock, who was just after, was 104 and 164, and then Cox took over, and we started winning. But it was the Marlins won 7 years after their first expansion, and it took the Jays. Well, we were 77. We were the quickest at the time, but it took us 16 years. Yeah. So
it's just because they called be a player and the way they're allowed to assemble the teams.
Yeah,
they're different now. Because it's not just about giving off your cast-offs. It's about maybe giving up somebody with a big old salary.
Your mic's cutting in and out again. Oh man. Okay, let's you know what? We'll do that little Michael Jackson
commercial.
Did again. We'll do a commercial. All right. I'll do Stage 10 commercial. Here we go.
Okay.
Hey kids, do you want to be a podcast superstar like us? Host a YouTube channel or a Twitch channel, or just create a video blog? The Stage 10 app can turn your computer into a production studio, adding graphics, music, and videos on the fly, as well as patching in multiple guests, some from as far away as China. Friendly staff that can help with any problems that may occur. Josh has bailed us out on many occasions. Stage 10 allows you to broadcast simultaneously to multiple platforms.
Thanks, Josh.
And all social media sites. So if you want to be cool, Stage 10 can make you look good. Hey.
Thanks, Josh.
That actually worked. You actually... I think you're back.
Had to figure it out somehow. Yeah. I don't know what the hell's going on with this one.
Yeah, okay. You're good.
So now I kind of want to move towards a little more of a serious tone about things.
Okay.
Because it's come up again, just because of the sheer volume. So it's the thing about COVID restrictions entering Canada.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Because the Royals had to leave 10 players behind. 10. Out of a 26-man roster. Like, are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously, Kansas City, Missouri, probably Red State. These people, like, it's my body, my choice. JT Real Muto's like, I'm not going to let the laws of Canada dictate what I put in my body. It's not worth the money. And he gave up, like, $260,000 in salary to do it. I don't have any, like, I don't feel sorry for you, JT. Okay. So,
just to add to that, by the way, Josh Hawley and Roy Blunt, both Republican Party members, senators from Missouri. There you go. A little bit of a red state.
Josh Hawley's just the worst. Not as bad as Lord Boobert, but whatever.
Okay, so Benintendi.
Okay. Benintendi is also one. But here's the thing. Before we get into the players, this argument about vaccines coming to this country is stupid. And for two reasons.
It works both ways.
The United States has the exact same policy.
It does.
Okay? So
it's just because they started there, that's why they get to go back.
Yeah, the only reason you get to go back is because you live there. Okay? Second, when you travel to a foreign country, usually pretty far away, like you go to US, Canada, it's fine. You have to get vaccinated.
Yeah.
In order to go to that foreign country.
Yeah.
So how is this any different? It's not different. Ooh. I'm having one of my narcolepsy feelings right now. I'm angry about this one because it makes me really angry, because when I went to China, I had so many shots put in my body.
Oh yeah.
I had to be inoculated from like 10 different things.
Me moving as a child from South Africa, the amount of things that I got knocked up for, like boom, 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 boom.
Exactly.
And yeah.
All the vaccines you idiots got when you were children, and that little yellow card, well, maybe it's a Canadian thing, but you got that card saying what you have. All of you idiots have been vaccinated. This vaccine is no different than any of the other ones. So if you're not getting it, you don't give a rat's ass about your team. Okay? And I can prove it. I can prove it.
This is a good statement. I do know this. I'm gonna put you on full screen here, Jeff. Here you go. All right, here you go. Ready? You got it.
Okay, so this is for you, Whitford, I think. Whit Merrifield. You have been a great ball player. You are a great ball player. This season, not as much, but you have been a stellar ball player, and you're a moron. Why are you a moron? For the simple statement that you made about the vaccine. When basically, this is not a quote, but you said that it's a personal choice, but if you were traded to a playoff team, you would get the shot. That doesn't sound like a team player to me.
No.
It just doesn't.
Unless unless he's throwing so much respect to the Jays, saying that, oh, you know what, I'm going to get a shot because I know I'm having to go to Canada, which I highly doubt. I highly doubt.
He's traded to New York or Boston or Tampa, which is the point you made before, is that when it comes to trades now, it makes it even harder to make because guys like Benintendi, who the Yankees and Blue Jays were salivating over, won't get him.
Yeah,
because he won't get the vaccination.
Because think of how many times in the American League East, if you're Boston, if you're New York, if you're Tampa, you're going to have to come up to Toronto,
And they were all short players. They lost their closer.
Yeah,
the Red Sox did. They lost their closer and one other guy. I can't remember who it was, and losing their closer basically contributed directly to them losing a game in that series.
Yeah.
So if you can get all these other vaccines, if you can eat fast food, if you can, I don't know, walk down the street and breathe in the air, everything's going to kill you.
Yeah.
Oh, hey. Vaccine.
Got a, you know what? Here's another sort of rando fact about managers' records. I'm pulling this back up again because I just pulled up another one. The best record for a Jays manager, what do you think it is? So we know the worst record, which is Roy Hartsfield. The best record, his winning percentage is .800. It's an anomaly. It is Mel Queen, 1997, when he finished off the season. Yeah, when he finished off the season for Cedar Gaston after Cedar Gaston got fired. So there we go.
That was coming to me as you were reading it.
Yeah.
And again, apologies to all the people wondering why my face keeps doing weird stuff. Well, with my condition, when I have attacks, that helps me kind of not become unconscious.
Yeah. The audio fans will not notice.
And I just try to make it look funny because it doesn't feel funny. Yeah. Like I right now see 3 circle lights, but at least it's amusing.
Yeah.
So what teams are going to be
looking at
kind of left out in the dark now? Everybody wants a lefty bat again. The Jays and Yankees were both going after Benintendi. So if you're not going after Benintendi, who do you go after?
Well, that's the trick. Do you think that if...
Oh, I know who
but here's the trick. If the Jays literally say, hey, if you get the vaccine, will you come up here and leave Kansas City? Will Benintendi go? I really don't think he does, because
he still has to wait 2 weeks for it to take effect.
Yeah. So so they would have to make that move now in order for him to be any kind of use. At least
all it means is Benintendi is going to get traded to the National League, probably.
Yeah.
or a team that's no longer going to come to trade. But the thing is, no matter who you get traded for, if you trade it to anybody, and if the Jays make the playoffs and your team's playing the Jays in the playoffs, you ain't getting that guy you traded all those pieces for.
You're screwed, yeah.
So people are really getting upset in general in the baseball like fan community, and some writers are thinking like this whole thing is screwed up. Like, what's wrong with these players? Like, if they have to be at this point hardcore Republicans, hardcore Fox News watchers,
libertarians, I believe.
Yeah, exactly. So
I believe that's the
dude, like, believe or don't believe, like, it is a personal choice. You do have that choice, but it's not going to kill you. No. And it's going to make sure you don't die. Mm-hmm. So the reason for not taking it is because you're just a selfish prick and you don't care about your team and you'll just throw them under the bus.
I feel so.
Like JT, yeah. like I said, JT Real Muto said, I. You know what? There's no I in team, but there's an I in vaccine.
Mm-hmm. And there is a meat in team if you actually do a little bit of an anagram, and there's an I, and there's an I in pie, as in meat pie. You know.
So what does that leave us with? So I honestly think we're going to go for a hardcore trade. I think one of our core players is going to be traded, along with a prospect, to get us a starting pitcher and either a bat. It depends on the trade. If it's Teoscar, because he's the one I think they would be traded. If they make a big move, he's the one that goes. So if Teoscar gets traded with just say, I don't know, we'll throw in Anthony Kay as a random pitcher who's a left-hander, and we'll throw in Josh Grosh.
Okay? Yeah, that's actually not bad.
So just think who you get for a two-time Silver Slugger slugging award winner, one of the top third base prospects in baseball, and a serviceable left-hander that can go in your pen, because Kay ain't never going to be a starter. He just ain't. He just ain't going to be a starter. You can get yourself a pretty good starter for that, and hopefully a lefty bat to replace that. Because people keep saying, well, if you get rid of Teoscar, who's going to play the outfield? Because, there's no other trades that can be made to get another outfielder.
Here's one that's actually been bandied about. Dominic Smith from the Mets, who's gone up and down, hasn't had a chance to actually make a break into the major leagues yet.
He's a first baseman.
No, he's an outfielder. He's an outfielder. He's a first baseman. I mean, he can probably play first base as well, but he's an outfielder.
I always thought he was a first baseman, and he got squeezed out because of the other two guys. Yeah. I mean, maybe.
Well, it's one that
he doesn't excite. You know who excites me? Ian Happ excites me. That's who I would go for. He's 27 years old. He's got another year left on his contract beyond this, so he would cost a little bit of capital. He's having the best season of his career, and he's basically National League Andrew Benintendi.
Yeah,
numbers are a little less, just a little bit, but he's got speed. He's a good outfielder. He can hit for average. He can get on base. Like, he's the kind, and he's a lefty bat. He's the kind of guy you need to throw in the middle of all these righty power bats. I mean, it's stated over and over again. We have the same kind of hitters. We have a whole bunch of power hitters. We don't have contact hitters except for Raimel Tapia, who, by the way, in the last 30 games, I believe Dan Schulman said last 30 games he's hitting 320. Wow. Raimel Tapia. So what did I say when that trade got happening? We win.
What about Cedric Mullins from Baltimore?
They won't trade him.
No, he's their best piece. He's their best piece, and you're not going to trade him within the division. But no. I mean, if we give up,
Mancini may get traded.
If we give up like some good growth,
no way they trade him.
Yeah,
no way. Only because
it's the Jays.
At this point,
and it's the Jays.
No. Yeah. Well, that's part of it.
Yeah.
But to me, the main part of it is their team's a lot better, a lot quicker than they thought they'd be.
But here's something, like, I mean, as a Jays fan,
where are they going to be buyers?
Well, here's the thing: is as a Jays fan, we're used to hating Boston and New York, but Boston and New York have
Well, I
that.
hate Baltimore too.
No, I know, but Boston and New York have that traditional rivalry, so it's sort of fallen upon Baltimore and the Jays to have that hatred, that level of hatred that Boston and New York have for each other. Like that's the way that I see it, because I hate Baltimore. I have respect for the Yankees.
I hate Baltimore too, but I think Tampa Bay is the one we hate more now.
I hate Boston
just because they've kicked our ass.
Oh yeah, but I feel bad for Tampa Bay. Like I feel bad for Tampa Bay because they're doing so much with so little. It's almost like the opposite of Winston Churchill's speech. Never before has so much been owed to so few. Yeah,
they always trade for arms. That's the thing. They trade. They get arms. Like we will have arms. They are coming. Unfortunately, they're about a 1 to 2 year window away. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I never thought we were winning the World Series this year. I still don't.
No. And I said it.
Too young.
No, but I said it before. Whenever we get picked to be like the team to beat, we're not the team that year. We're the team the next year. Because
San Diego was the same thing last year. They were the team to beat, and they got beat. And now they're doing great.
Yeah, and it's always whatever it is. Then pick them the next year. So
I don't think it's an expectation thing. I think for us, it's an age thing. We're still a really young team.
Oh yeah.
Like Jansen's the oldest. Well, Teoscar's the oldest, right? I think he's 29.
No, but Jansen's the longest serving Jay though. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's only 27.
And he's been on the team for
Chapman's what 29 too. So you got like Bo's 23, Vladdy's 24, Santi's 26, Lourdes is 27. I mean George is old, and George Springer is getting old right before our freaking eyes.
He's still making great grabs.
He plays hard. He plays great, and he's doing well. But you can see it. Like he's a fragile dude. Yeah. And I think part of it is I think he needs to. Like he's a skinny guy. Yeah. Like he's strong, right? But he's skinny. I don't know. He just seems like he's made of Teflon sometimes.
I don't know if he's skinny. I think it's just looking at our physiques. And then realizing that he's less.
Well, it's either an elbow or a hamstring. Like you see every year of his career, he's plays about 130 games to 120 games because he can't play 160 games, which makes getting that extra outfielder, even a new outfielder, even more important, because that outfielder we acquire should be required to be able to play center field, because we don't have anyone now who can adequately play center field to back up Springer except for Bradley Zimmer.
Yeah.
And Bradley Zimmer. Did I tell you what Bradley Zimmer did today?
Oh, the speed of Bradley Zimmer. Yeah.
Great fielder, great legs. So Alejandro Kirk, of course, gets another hit today, or 2, whatever. He hits again. And in the 7th inning, they take him out to let Bradley Zimmer run because it's a tie game. And what does that bugger do? Gets picked off first base, not even trying to steal. Like he wasn't even in stealing. Like there was no stealing moment in the game. Like he was not going to steal, and he got picked off. If we can replace Bradley Zimmer with an Ian Happ,
then we're good.
Teoscar. You know what I mean? Like, but Teoscar's got to go. I think Zimmer's going to be here. I think there's no way to get rid of him, because then we'd have to get 2 more outfielders, and we can't because we need bullpen help. We need some 100-mile-an-hour arms coming out of there.
Yeah. All right, we should probably do a commercial. You're up for it?
Yeah, I think I can do this one.
All right.
Hi, I'm Jeff of the 40/40 Men, and I'm a mess. I'm a few pounds overweight, losing my hair, going gray, and a narcoleptic. What does that have to do with anything? Well, I'll tell you. If you're a sponsor that can help me lose 30 pounds, get my hair back, get my beard back to red, we would like to hire you for us to be a sponsor. So, if you feel like being a sponsor for the 40/40 Man, we're right here. Sponsor! Go to one try.
I feel we lost Jeff for a second there. Yeah, we're good. He's back. He's back. He's bad.
I'm sort of here. I am back. I might be going solo soon.
That's all right. I can pull it off. We're good. Um, yep. No, I'm going solo for a little bit. All right. Okay. So, our last little topic that we did have was left-handed batters, possibly, and the fact that I don't think that Baltimore will trade within the division. I do have my own opinion based on the fact that I believe that the Jays have a hatred with Baltimore, and Baltimore has a hatred with us, and they won't help us out unless we give them something massive in return. So, the biggest need, as Jeff stated before, is bullpen help, because we do need guys that can actually launch a ball 100 and actually hit the strike zone as well. So it's a tough one. I've constantly stated that I feel that we should trade with Pittsburgh, and it's Quintana's obviously going to be off the market, but if we can throw something, if we can throw something to them that can actually make sense, that would be the ultimate goal for us to get.
Well,
you don't
I'm
think?
Back.
He's back.
I'm back.
He's back. All right, let's put him back on.
I'm not 100% back, but I think I can talk again.
Yeah, we're good.
I'm going to put in somewhere along the way and explain to everybody what exactly I have. So you're wondering what the hell's happening to that guy on the screen there.
It's all right.
So, what are we talking about?
Starting pitchers or pitchers in general.
Oh,
yeah.
Quintana is going to cost us nothing.
You don't think so? Pittsburgh is playing.
He's a rental player.
Yeah. He's
only going to have 2 months with us. Yeah. He's a middle prospect at best.
You think?
So we will get Quintana.
I think Jeff might still not be 100% on that one. Yeah.
So great right now.
Well, there's I've decided to pluck either Jose Quintana or Luis Castillo, and Castillo is obviously going to be another one that's going to take us a little bit of money to get. But
Yankees are going to get Castillo.
Yeah, but I feel that
or Boston, because Boston is going to be a lot better than people think they're going to be going forward. I think with Sale coming back, who else who is unvaccinated, by the way?
Yeah.
James Paxton's coming back.
Oh, yeah.
One more starter, and they're deadly.
Most definitely. Yeah. No, so to explain Jeff's condition here, it is cataplexy. It is almost sort of like narcolepsy and epilepsy kind of sort of combined. It'll sort of just hit out of nowhere, and Jeff has been fighting it today. He's actually pretty awesome.
Yes, Jeff, basically, I lose control of all my muscles above the waist when I become highly agitated.
Yeah.
And the topic I was talking about highly agitated me.
The vaccination, yes, it definitely.
I am triple vaxxed. I've been boosted. Well, Luis Castillo, no way. I don't, honestly, I don't think there's going to be a lot of pitchers on the market in general because of the expanded playoffs, more buyers.
Well, that's the trick, though, right? That's why you got to look at the teams that are so far in last place that it's not even a problem for them to give them up. But right now the Yankees and the Dodgers are definitely in the mix for Castillo. But I think that we could actually, throw in a little package for that one as well. The Reds need help everywhere. Although the Reds did actually help us out this week. They actually knocked off the Yankees a couple of times this week too. So, don't count out the fact that there's
it's $400,000.
Oh yeah.
700.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We're Here's
have you met this uncle before?
Sorry?
Have you met their uncle before?
Have I met what?
Sorry, Roy. What's maybe Uncle Pete? Have you met Uncle Pete?
Here we're gonna lose Jeff for a sec, just for fun, and see what we got going forward here. All right, I'm gonna throw myself in. Hopefully you can hear me. We're gonna bring Jeff back in a sec when I realize Jeff is gonna surface um, again. So anyway, so let's have a quick little chat about what the Jays have coming up this week. Well, actually, sorry, it's not even this week because it's the All-Star break this week. So All-Star game is in Dodger Stadium this coming weekend. We've actually got a couple of guys that should be there. We've got some, as I mentioned before, we've got Tiedemann and Yasolde. I always forget how to say it. The Fisher Cats prospect coming up and playing in the Futures game, which actually is going to be pretty awesome. So it's always good to see Jay's future prospects popping up. But after the All-Star break, it's looking like we got ourselves Boston. We got a couple against Boston, and then we got a couple against St. Louis in St. Louis, which is actually we got a couple in Boston, and then a couple against St. Louis in St. Louis. And it's been a while for us to actually be in St. Louis. Oh yeah, I'm just looking on the screen and I can see Jeff is out. I do apologize about that, and Jeff feels bad about it too. So do not worry, guys. But yeah, we got a couple in St. Louis and a couple against St. Louis. We haven't really fared well against St. Louis. We actually haven't done well against interleague play, minus those couple of games against Philadelphia in the last little game. So we got St. Louis coming up. We got Fenway coming up after the All-Star break, and looks like we're gonna have to do it with the new manager. So let's see how Roy Schneider can pull this together for the Jays. I think it was actually it wasn't a good move firing Montoyo, but it was a good time to sort of do it, because if you do it a little too late, you get the players the shock of coming back into the All-Star break and then realizing they got a new manager. So at least now you've got Montoyo gone, you've got Schneider in, and the players sort of get about a week's worth of what the new regime is going to be like, go away for the All-Star break and then come back. So as opposed to having, stuff happen while you're away, because, that's never going to be a good situation for the team to come back into. So I think they're going to actually respond better than him being fired on the All-Star break. It's tough, but I like the firing time. I agree with the time frame they've done it, but I don't agree with the fact that he should have been fired. Like I think the Jays' problems are starter based, and it's clear as day, because we can hit, we can field, we just can't seem to hit a strike zone, and that's the crappy part about it. So I don't know. But guys, it's gonna be a good little span for this team coming up. Now the onus is on the Jays to actually perform to their potential. There's no more sort of saying, oh, it could have been this, could have been this. This is now the second manager. They've had 4 years of Montoyo. We've now got a guy that they've actually had a relationship with going up into in the minor leagues. So let's see if the Jays can actually get it in. Oh, hey, look who's up here. Let's patch him in just for the last little bit.
I've just been paralyzed.
Yeah,
so I lose control of my muscles and I become paralyzed. I can't talk, and that's when my eyes go.
It's all good, Jeff. I was literally just about to wrap it up.
That's why I'm glad I came back in time.
Looking
forward. For you guys going forward, you can catch us Spotify, YouTube, Apple, iHeart, anywhere you can get your lovely podcast. If you see us on YouTube, like and subscribe. I've always wanted to say that because they all say it, so I'm saying it. Also visit 365sportscast.com. That's where you can hear this every Sunday at 5:00 for the first airing, and then it airs when after that, Greg? When does it go on to Spotify?
It goes on at 6:01. As soon as this one's done, it goes up on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio. There's even some rando ones, which I'll I'll get into at some point as well, which is actually kind of funny because there's even the Samsung podcast platform, which we're on too. So I'm good with that.
Awesome.
All right, guys.
I apologize for my thing. It's a late night for me, so hence the.
All right, we're gonna catch you guys next week.
Donate to your local cataplectic society.
Peace.
Ah.